For those who slept with your best friend, what happened?
I don't have a best friend, but a group of friends, and I slept with one of them. Both of us regretted it and decided to hush it up. That was about 2 months ago, and haven't heard anything about it yet. She has told her best friend though. It could still bite me in the ass. We got drunk at a party and she invited me back to our place for a nightcap. We did it was magical. For me, it felt better than anyone else I've ever had sex with. She came for the first time. So, we started dating. Now no, 5 years later we're married, and just had our first child. We got drunk, we slept together, we woke in the morning, looked at each other, laughed, carried on, we're still best mates. 10 years later, she was my best woman at my wedding. We were best friends for 10 years. Then we became transition lovers for each other to help get over bad breakups. It worked out so well that we are now married. We have been together romantically for no years. It is the easiest relationship ever.
I went to work and messaged her the next day to see if we were still hanging out that night. Received nothing. Few weeks later, after not hearing anything, she told me to fuck off. She got convinced a few days later by her friend that I raped her. I was drunk and trying to go home. She came on to me. I was going to sleep on the floor. Haven't heard from her since. We were best friends since 2012. Even when I went off to the military. We had been really close through high school and went to the same college, so stayed close. She was the girl my girlfriends didn't want me hanging out with because we were so close and I can be flirty without meaning to be. One night we were out together and had both just gotten out of relationships. We went back to her place and hooked up. Went to breakfast in the morning and it was weird. We both talked about how it felt weird and we shouldn't do this again because we are so close. Never happened again and we are still really close to this day. My brother is engaged to her sister, so we will probably be close forever, and I couldn't be happier about how things went. It happened 3 or 4 weeks ago. We've been close friends for maybe 5 years but had the drunken kiss a few times and never taken it further. She was over at my place drinking wine the other week and we got talking about why we drunkenly kissed and we ended up doing it again, then went upstairs and had amazing passionate sex. It just felt so good. The next day she texted me and said, "It was fun, but can we leave it at that? I don't want either of us to be hurt or uncomfortable, and we haven't spoken about it again. I feel like it's changed our friendship. We don't talk to each other like we used to before and I don't know if we can get that back. While it's not awkward, it's just different now. She seems shy and nervous now. I don't know if it will happen again. I don't know what to do. I feel like there are things we both want to say. I feel like it meant something to her too and it scared the shit out of her, so she's retreated. I'm somewhere between happy that it happened, optimistic that it might happen again, pessimistic that we've fucked it up, and regretful that we may have lost something. Only time will tell. She took my virginity, I was a late bloomer, and we continued to date and had 4 years of awesome sex. The combination of young love with a best friend is fantastic. We eventually parted ways as marriage would not work for us, although both of us have been happily married for quite a while. I still think of her often and, on the few times I have spoken to her recently, it was just like a comfortable conversation with any old friend. High school best friend. I was gay and out of the closet to everyone but my family. He, I assumed, was straight. One day after school we were playing video games in the den at my house when he put his hand on my knee. I laughed at him, assuming he was joking around, when he leaned over and kissed me on the lips. We didn't do a lot of talking in the moment, but he later confessed to being gay/closeted and having a crush on me. He was from a super religious family and had no intentions on coming out, but throughout the rest of high school we were best friends in public and boyfriends in private. Got into a huge fight this summer after graduation about him being in the closet, though, and that was that. We both said some pretty terrible things to each other, and looking back, I'm not even sure if he was ever interested in me as a friend so much as a warm body. 20 years later we're still in the same circle of friends, but he's still in the closet and I just rolled my eyes and went along with the story he told everyone about why we're no longer close. A bunch of our friends suspect the truth, but I've always shot them down since it's not exactly my secret to share. I was on vacation with a group of friends. One of my best friends was in that group. We were drunk and dancing one night and we started kissing and one thing led to another and we ended up sleeping together, multiple times on that vacation. We were both worried the other would be weirded out because we've known each other for almost 10 years, but it wasn't weird at all. Up until then I had only been curious about being with other women, and at 26 had only ever slept with and dated men, so kind of nerve-wracking, but it was amazing. She and I are now in a relationship and insanely in love. I wouldn't take back that first night for anything in the world.